It's 3 a.m. in northern Alberta. The thermometer reads -50. Outside, diesel is thickening into jelly, and steel is shrinking so hard the truck creaks in the dark. And inside the sleeper cab, a driver is asleep in a t-shirt, warm, comfortable, breathing slow. One thin wall separates a man in a t-shirt from a cold that would kill him in under 15 minutes. Tonight, we find out exactly how that wall holds. Here is the strange part. You would think that on the coldest night of the year, a trucker's biggest enemy is the cold pressing in from outside. It isn't. His biggest enemy is silence. The moment that engine goes quiet, a clock starts ticking, and if he makes the wrong choice about how to survive the night, he might wake up to a truck that will not start, a battery that is dead, and a fuel tank full of something closer to wax than liquid. So how does he sleep through it? Why does he leave the engine running when fuel costs money? And the truck is going nowhere. What happens to diesel at 50 below? And why can't he just bundle up in blankets like the rest of us? And why, on the worst nights, is turning the engine off the single most dangerous thing he could do? Let's spend one night inside this machine, from dusk to dawn, and find out. Before we climb into that cab, if you like the hidden engineering behind the machines and the people who keep our world moving, subscribe. It genuinely helps this channel keep going. Now back to the cold. The sun is already gone. This far north in January, daylight is a rumor. A few gray hours around noon, and then darkness for the rest of it. Our driver pulls off the highway into a truck stop, a flat sheet of ice under sodium lamps. Dozens of rigs parked in rows with their exhaust stacks trailing thin ribbons of white smoke straight up into the still air. He has been driving for 11 hours. His body wants to stop, but before he can rest, he has work to do that most people never think about, because at 50 below, parking a truck is not just pulling the brake and walking away. It is a survival procedure. The first thing he does is not turn the engine off. He leaves it running. And that single decision, one that looks like pure waste, is the reason he will still have a working truck in the morning. Here's something almost nobody outside of trucking understands. At normal temperatures, you shut an engine off to save fuel. At 50 below, shutting it off can destroy it. Diesel fuel has a hidden weakness. As it gets colder, the paraffin wax naturally dissolved in the fuel begins to crystallize. Around -10 Celsius, tiny wax crystals start to form. By -30, they clump together into a thick, cloudy sludge. And somewhere past -40, untreated diesel stops flowing altogether. It gels. Picture pouring cold honey, then picture it setting like candle wax inside the fuel lines, clogging the filter, starving the engine. A truck with gelled fuel is not a truck anymore. It is a very large, very cold paperweight. A running engine fights this. It keeps warm fuel circulating. It keeps the coolant hot. It keeps the battery charged and the oil thin enough to move. Stop the engine, and all of that heat bleeds away into the night in a matter of hours. The oil thickens toward tar. The coolant, if it isn't mixed exactly right, edges toward freezing and can crack the engine block from the inside. The battery, already weak in the cold, may not have the punch left to turn a stiff, cold engine over in the morning. So the fuel that looks wasted, idling all night, is not waste at all. It is insurance. Burning 10 or 15 liters of diesel overnight is far cheaper than a cracked block, a dead battery, or a tow truck that may take 6 hours to reach you on a highway where the next town is 200 kilometers away. Now here is the twist that changes everything. You would assume that at 50 below, the enemy is the cold biting at human skin. It isn't. The cold doesn't attack the body first. It attacks systems. It attacks the diesel that won't flow, the rubber seals that turn brittle and crack, the grease in the wheel bearings that stiffens into glue, the air lines for the brakes where a single drop of trapped moisture can freeze into an ice plug and lock the brakes solid. The real enemy is not discomfort. It is failure you cannot see until it is too late. A driver can be perfectly warm in his bunk and still be in danger, because while he sleeps, the machine around him is under a slow, silent assault. Every rubber hose is getting harder. Every fluid is getting thicker. Every gap in the metal is widening as the steel contracts.